Global by Andrew Donkin and Eoin Colfer. First Chapter Friday Read Aloud video with the Word Nerd. Before we dive into Chapter 1, let me tell you a little bit about what this story is going to be about. Time is running out for Sammy and Yuki. They are two children in two locations facing one climate crisis. Yuki lives in the far north of Canada where warming temperatures are melting the ice. Polar bears have less food to hunt and are wandering into town looking for something to eat. Yuki is determined to do something to help the bears. Later in the story, she's in the Arctic wilderness, and she and her dog are being stalked by a hungry growler bear, a crossbreed between a grizzly and a polar bear whose territories have collided. Its existence is a result of the global warming, and it's very, very dangerous. Sammy and his grandfather live in a village along the Indian Ocean. They earn their living by fishing, but the ocean is rising, and each day they bring back fewer and fewer fish. For Sammy, his home was swept away in a cyclone some years before, and now he and his grandpa struggle to catch anything on their fishing trips. If he can't find his mother's lucky knife submerged in the treacherous ocean, perhaps he can change their fate. One world ravaged by climate change and two children fighting for survival. That's what you'll find in this book. As I mentioned before, this story takes place in two locations. Sammy lives in the Bay of Bengal, and Yuki lives in northern Canada in the Arctic Circle. The story flips back and forth between two locations and two perspectives. Each is labeled here, there, to help you keep track. We start in Sammy's location, the here, the Bay of Bengal. It's not the sound of the waves that wakes me. I have never known a moment without that sound, so it never disturbs me. The waves did not wake me on the night Papa went. I wish they had. Ugh. Sammy? I know, Grandpa. It's happening again, already. Listen, do you hear the rocks shifting? No, it's just water coming over the top of the seawall. Move over here and we'll go back to sleep. Will they let us move in the morning? Maybe, if they can agree on anything. So on this page, we can see Sammy and his grandpa sleeping in their hut, and the water is creeping in, making it dangerous and hard to sleep in all that water. Chapter 1. I have a little page up there in the top corner so you can see the whole view, but then I've zoomed in so we can read the words a little bit more clearly. Sammy says, "This is my village." And there's all these people talking and arguing. Some of them are saying, "We need to move the houses back again. How can we ourselves accomplish such a thing?" Someone else says, "No, we need to build a better seawall. That wall is finished. It was smashed many cyclones ago. We can't spend time arguing. We need a new wall. We need to catch fish. We should join together to buy deep water trawler. No, they cost too much. We cannot compete with the big corporations. They will kill us." Everyone has ideas. None of them has ever made a difference. The sea doesn't care about ideas, but people keep sharing them. We need to carry on and just live and hope that our life gets better and our fishing gets better. We need to catch for our families. We need dry beds. Not everyone here is from our village. They came from the sea. They should go back to the sea. We need to move the houses back again. You can see they just keep going around and around, and Sammy says, "They're still talking." And his grandfather says, "What do you expect, Sammy?" Just a little tip for you here. The things that are in the pink boxes are things that Sammy is thinking, and the things in the white speech bubbles are the things the characters are saying out loud. Sammy is thinking, "My name is Sammy, and this is my grandfather Solomon. I am 12 years old." Out loud, his grandfather says, "What shall we do?" Sammy says, "Find higher ground. Find a place where the ocean does not sneak in like a thief." There are not so many places left. We'll find somewhere. You can see them looking out into the village. "Come on, grandson. They won't talk forever, though it seems like it. We put this thing on the wrong way last time and it leaked. We should remember where we've moved it. It's been enough times." So they're gathering all their things, and his grandfather says, "It will be a good fishing day today. I can feel it." Hey, that's our house. This came from the sea like you. It's legal, savage. Hey, give it back. It belongs to us. You can go back to the sea if you don't like it here. We can't. Our real home is gone. It's mine. It's ours. Once everything gets wet and breaks down, then people start scavenging and salvaging what they can, but sometimes they end up taking other people's things without knowing it, and then fights kind of break out. Grandfather tries to break up the fight. Boo! I found little Safa's doll. I think she would miss it very much, especially at night when the ocean is loud. And you've come to help us? Every day I thank the gods for friends like you. Life is hard. Good people forget who they are, and so we have to remind them. Will we forget who we are? Sammy asks. Us, Grandfather says. Never. Thank you, my friends. We could have not completed our task without you. Please, take this. Grandfather hands over a drawing that he has done of Abu's young daughter. We live here. It's usually beautiful. It's usually warm. It's usually hard. Each season we work harder to stay exactly where we are. We are struggling to stand still. We take more risks to catch fewer fish. Grandfather says, I'm always proud of you, Sammy. You never give up, just like your father. Now, this scene that we're seeing is a flashback. We know that because it's a little bit darker and the tones are muted, and that helps us to know that it takes place in the past. We also know it's a flashback because it says 3 years ago. Where are they, Grandpa? We have to get inside. Where are they? They are sensible and will be fine. We have to get back inside. Where are they? We have to go, Sammy. And you can see a huge wave coming for them. Boat, fish, sleep. Boat, fish, sleep. Every day, and it gets harder. Every season, the fish are fewer, and even those are further from shore. People have different ideas why. Perhaps Lord Brahma is angry, or maybe foreign factory boats steal all the fish. Grandpa says that big cities poison the ocean. It's difficult to tell. All I know is that even though the world is big, our world is growing smaller every day. Next, our story flips to northern Canada. We get 2 types of bears here. Polar bears and brown bears. Right? Wrong. Global warming has mixed up their territories, and now polar bears and grizzly bears are crossbreeding. So there's a third kind of bear. These new bears are called growlers. The trouble is, nature played a trick on the growlers. They don't have the skills to hunt on ice or to catch salmon in the rivers. The worst of both worlds. Not a very nice trick. We destroyed their habitat. We created them, and now we're going to kill them. Unless I can do something about it. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you want to find out what happens next, you're going to have to continue reading Global. Pick up a copy from your school library, purchase one from your favorite local indie bookstore, or grab it via the link in the description box. Then check out all the other graphic novels I have for you on my channel, as well as the other First Chapter Fridays. I have links for all the good stuff waiting for you down in the video description box. Thanks so much for coming to my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd. I hope you'll come back again for more great content, including First Chapter Friday videos, brain break, quiz games, direct instruction videos, teacher tips, instrumental playlists, and more. Please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Happy reading!